New Zealand is punching above its weight in crime news this week, with this week the chilling case of Han Young Lee, a 44-year-old Korean-born New Zealand woman, commenced in the High Court in Auckland. She's on trial. She's accused of murdering her two children, Minyu Jo, who was 6, and Yunya Jo, whose remains were found in abandoned suitcases discovered at a storage unit 4 years after their deaths. The case is grimly known as the Suitcase murders. And it has attracted international headlines since August 2022, when the children's bodies were uncovered. The crime came to light when a South Auckland family purchased the contents of an abandoned storage unit at an online auction. Inside the luggage they had acquired were the decomposed remains of two children. Horrified, obviously, they immediately called the police. Now, authorities quickly established that the family had no connections to the deaths, and the storage unit had belonged to Lee, who had stopped paying rental fees in 2022, which had led to the contents being sold. Prosecutors are alleging that Lee killed her children sometime between June 23rd and July 27th, 2018. This was a year after her husband and the children's father had died of cancer. And court documents suggest the children may have been administered sleeping medication prescribed by Lee, though the precise cause of death remains unconfirmed. After the alleged killings, Lee left New Zealand for South Korea and changed her name from Ji-eun Lee to Hak-young Lee. I'm probably mangling the name, so my apologies. She remained there until her extradition in November 2022. Now, Lee appeared in the High Court on Monday, and when she was asked whether she pleaded guilty or not guilty, she shook her head, and Justice Geoffrey Venning formally recorded the pleas of not guilty. Now, Justice Venning cautioned jurors that the case would be distressing, noting both the nature of the evidence and its emotional impact. He also indicated that the question of Lee's mental state at the time of the alleged killings would likely be central to their deliberations. In an unusual move, Lee has chosen to represent herself during the trial, though she is being supported by two court-appointed lawyers. Venning has been allowed to observe proceedings from another room in the courthouse to mitigate the emotional strain. As the trial continues this week, the court will hear some pretty harrowing evidence about the final days of her children's lives and the year-long concealment of their bodies, along with Lee's actions in New Zealand and after her return to South Korea. The jury, as in any high media profile trial, is to separate the sensationalism of the case from the evidence presented. I'll continue to keep an eye on this case as it unfolds.